Welcome back to our any percent no major glitches Death's Door tournament. I'm your host, Pudding Boxes, and joining me in the commentary booth we have Cthulhu. Would you like to say hi?
Hello, everyone. I am Cthulhu.
And Key Points.
Hello, everybody. I will be filling in the role of Cthulhu today.
In today's match, we are in the semifinals. We're finally in the semifinals after so many matches. TFT versus Shresh. Would you like to say, both of you, say hi to the people before we start?
Yeah, hi, it's TFT. Happy to be here for the first race in the semifinals. I'm sure it'll go great.
Hi, this is Matulu.
Shoot, I should have made that joke.
I have too many imposters today.
Good luck figuring out which one is who. All right, so on go is when you guys start. So you're both one click away from starting the game?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck, runners.
Good luck, runners.
All right, with that, we are starting semifinals of the NMG tournament. We've all been waiting for this moment. We're down to the top 4. So today we've got the second place and third place, or the second seed, third seed runners. Unofficially also second seed and third seed on the boards. So we're in for a big treat.
Yeah, this should be a pretty good race. The winner of this race will be moving on to the finals to face the winner of Key Points versus Vareem, which will be happening probably sometime next week. So yeah, this is exciting stuff. This is the first match of the semifinals. The second seed in this match is TFT, and also second place on the boards. And Shresh is the third seed and unofficial third place on the boards as well. So this is going to be some good stuff.
One of the things that's been really cool is I've been able to scrim with both of them pretty frequently in the last 2 weeks. If anyone has seen, like, we've been streaming some of it and things like that. And definitely some tight races. So I have a feeling that this is going to be a lot of content. I'm excited for it. As usual, it's going to be best of 3. So this is our first match of the day. Excited.
Yep. So we'll have this match, and then immediately after this match, well, a short intermission between, we'll be running back the run for the second match. If necessary, immediately after that, we'll be doing a third match as well. So this is potentially 3 matches today, but 2 guaranteed. And yeah, so far we're just getting through the first boss here. Nothing too crazy, not a big difference between the runners. We see TFT go through that door at about 140, and Shresh also going through that door at about 140. So just in lockstep with each other here. And I expect that to be the case for just a little bit longer.
Unless either of these runners opt to do some safety strats, we're going to be seeing, I imagine, pretty close positioning, at least through estate. So we'll see if anyone makes any changes today for safety and or making any sort of risks, knowing the hot and heavy competition going on.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what kind of safety strats these 2 runners will employ, and any potentially more dangerous strats. One thing about this tournament is that it has fostered so much development of the run in the past few weeks. Lots of people grinding their PBs down, lots of new strats being found and employed. I'm curious to see which of those new strats might be used during this run. Some of them are pretty simple, like the new Death Warp after Avarice 3, but there's other ones which might be a little bit less less set in stone, like the strat posted just yesterday by Museus about a new way to do the final wave of the Ice Arena in Watchtowers. So I'm kind of curious to see if that will see any daylight today, but I'm excited to see what happens.
And a small little change there was in the mini arenas leading up to the first key. A lot of people in the tournament have been opting to kill the bat by running up to it, the imp, and then the grunt. But Shresh took the older route of using arrows from a distance and only had to shoot 2 to get the kill on the imp. So it wasn't time loss, but that section is notorious for getting some time loss.
Yeah, absolutely. That little imp, when you're trying to hit it from afar, it can go between these two gravestones. It's pretty far away and it moves randomly, so it's just it's horrible. So I guess I can understand why people are taking the option of running over to the imp instead.
It's consistent and it's really not too much time loss. Both runners doing pretty much a masterclass on the first major arena. I didn't see any mistakes that I could notice from either of them.
Yeah. TFT actually created a video guide to that first arena just recently, maybe a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. So it's good to see that in practice, really.
And they're both getting to this lever cronking basically at the same time, around 4:15. So still both neck and neck, which I'm excited for this to continue.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said earlier, Key, I would expect not a lot of differences. Most of this beginning section is relatively consistent. But once we get to a state, we might start to see some real variation. Once you start to go through some of those arenas, the enemy positions can be very random. You can have very, just a very bad time if the game decides to not be kind to you.
So something that ends up being important when you get to like this level of play, both runners getting very good imp RNG right before this. Both of the imps line themselves up to get taken out before going into this, which one means they're not going to come in here and be annoying, which they have a tendency to do, but also is slowly helping raise that soul count. There's been a pretty big change that's only really happened, I feel like, during this tournament of really monitoring soul, especially after manor, and seeing whether or not it's actually viable to get the 200 soul that we usually get in the spider's den after we get the fireball ability. Sometimes runners have been opting to get that 200 soul after getting bombs, and so that starts from here. Both runners got an extra 4 to 6 soul, which is pretty make or break depending on how bad imp loft comes, but that's going to be in like another 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's one of those things that's very interesting to me. Two basically wildly different routes that actually just comes down to how many single enemies basically you would need. The benefit of the spider soul, which is overall a little bit slower unless you need a lot of single one-off bits of soul, is that it has a ton of spiders that you can kill very quickly. So it's those little enemies that really add up to make it the faster option if you don't need to go out of your way. If you would otherwise have to go out of your way to kill a lot more enemies. So that'll be an interesting decision point. A lot of it will come down to how well their imp loft goes, which is one of the most notoriously RNG and really painful sections of the run. So a little silver lining in that if it's bad, you get to make up some of that time later with the other soul routing.
Optimally, if the runners know the best strats for getting the post average soul, it saves about 8 seconds overall. So it ends up actually being somewhat worth. But only if you really know the movement strats. Both runners getting pretty clean exits from Guardian, about 5-second difference in favor of TFT, and that's with him taking an unfortunate damage in the middle of it. So doing pretty good right now.
Yeah, pretty nice. Some decent movement here from both runners, and we'll see them moving into a state soon. We get this cutscene. It's lovely. You get it just ever so slightly staggered. So if you look fast enough, you might be able to read half a text box between the two of them.
Both runners are opting for English today. Neither of them doing traditional Chinese. I know we goofed about it yesterday a little bit. It only saves about 7 text box over the course of the run, but time save is time save. So today they're both allowing us to know the lore.
Yeah. You just got to be real quick at reading, and you can pick it up. I mean, just think of how much more that adds to the run.
Oh, they did gentleman agreement before this, TFT and Shresh, to do English instead of for the stream. Yeah, that's why they're both using English.
Interesting. Okay, that's good to know.
You love to see it. Gentleman's agreement, gentlefolks agreements.
Yes, indeed. All right, so TFT picked up that soul, did not opt to do the save quit there. I assume that both of these runners are going to be picking up the podhead skip soul, but that will, I suppose, remain to be seen. There is an option of which particular soul orb to pick up in a state. It's a little bit faster to do the podhead skip soul, and to basically you have to do podhead skip twice to do it. But if you're consistent with it, as both of these runners are, it is a bit faster.
All right. Shresh is going to be about 6 seconds behind at this point, 6 or 7 seconds. So definitely one bad right side arena can make that difference. So really, it's anyone's game at the beginning. Things aren't going to really start spreading until we get to the main dungeons. So right now, it's going to be the most movement intensive section of the early game. Estate is pretty tight. There's a lot of pretty intense movement right at the beginning of the run, essentially, especially when it comes to pothead skip, since it is pretty make or break, and it takes a long time to reset up if you do end up messing it up. Although both of these runners are pretty darn experienced, so they should be good.
Yep, and here we see it from TFT, gets it pretty smoothly. So we should see him go and grab that soul that's right down here. There it is. And then we quit out from there. You're actually trapped there, so you actually do need to quit out after picking that soul up. So that's why you get this door. That door is otherwise not necessary if you're not going to be getting that soul, although it is traditionally grabbed just for the sake of safety in some settings like this. A little bit sketchy there, almost fell off the rail from Shresh on the other side, but gets it pretty cleanly as well, and TFT on his way to the next arena. Yeah,
I for a bit didn't get that door anymore, but then all it took was a few times of accidentally falling into the void and having to then take the long sad walk all the way back from the crypts. And I decided I'll always get that door, even if I don't get the pothead soul.
Yeah, exactly. It's just too easy to accidentally softlock yourself. Like, death aside, a death will mean a reset, but when you're doing pothead skip, you can fall basically out of bounds and be softlocked and need to quit out. If you don't grab that door, that's a very long walk back. So it's worth it to grab that door just for that safety. It only takes a second.
TFT had some really good luck with his first of the on the right side arena. The mage almost got away from Shresh, plus some bad movement from the archers slowed him down a little bit, but still cleaned it up really well, able to make changes on the fly pretty strongly there.
Yeah, definitely able to adapt, but TFT definitely had a much cleaner right side arena there. So we'll see how Shresh is able to go through the rest of this. But I would expect TFT to potentially take a little bit wider of a lead. We're talking about only a few seconds here. Again, all these are going to be relatively small changes until we get a bit later into the run, but these things do add up.
Yeah, TFT having a little bit of mana management issues there because of a missed shot, but it doesn't lose too much time to have to swipe to hit the pot. It just only slightly risks the chance of getting damaged. But there's not much of a risk of dying here unless you're already on low health, because there's only enemies you have to dodge just by running by after this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Shresh getting a fair few friends. Oh no, missed the shot on that upper brazier. So that's going to be a bit slower. Yeah, has to take several shots to get that, and is now out of mana as well. So, Shresh definitely going to lose a little bit of time going through that section there.
He was hoping for a good mage spawn, but the timing really didn't work against his favor as the mage was spawning as he was going up the ladder, so there wasn't going to be any time for it to get in his way conveniently, so he had to get the mushrooms, which again, it's half a second. It's like an extra roll. It just adds up.
Yeah, definitely. Some of those missed shots there are going to be the bigger difference there. So I missed which time TFT entered Estate. I'm not sure if you grabbed that, or sorry, Manor. I'm not sure if you grabbed that. But Shresh is coming up on it now.
I didn't get it exactly, but it was about, I believe, like a 225. Sorry, 1225 roughly.
Gotcha. Okay,
so probably going to be about a 15.
Yeah, 15-20 seconds here.
Which is really honestly one of these arenas, especially when it comes to the wall pot boss. And Imploft can easily by themselves cost 20 seconds sometimes.
Absolutely. Ooh, TFT have to chase down the little interior of that pot there. That's
the
a bit
little
unfortunate.
ink blob, likes to run away and hide.
Yeah.
It's really honestly the worst in the spinner arena right before you get to the waltz pot. They love to hide in the smallest of corners, especially the upper left corner, and it's almost invisible up there.
Oh no. Yeah, hopefully we won't see any of that today, but remains to be seen. So TFT goes for doesn't get the top pot there immediately on entering.
I've noticed that's something that a lot of runners have been starting to do is getting the one in front of the door right at the door.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting. I guess it saves you from having, you don't spend the time shooting an arrow, and instead you are running there anyway. So I can see the rationale there, but the benefit of getting the top pot last is that you can actually fall during the animation. So yeah, I'm curious how that shakes out. It's probably not a big difference either way.
There is a level of sketchiness to doing that top pot because if you roll and you miss swipe and you fall down, it's a long walk back. So
Yes,
there
it
is a
is.
level of risk associated with it, and in a run that is going to run kind of tight, Shresh is opting as well to get that pot last.
Yeah, although I'm curious in
in case.
Shresh's case if it was because of the amount of mana that he had coming in. He actually only had 2 shots.
True.
Yeah, still shoots this one with an arrow. So I think it was maybe about the mana there. But of course, impossible to tell for sure.
You'll have to break some pots here, but it's pretty negligible if they're right there on the way. The first of the Lickitongs was pretty masterfully done. We expect at this point they're not too much of a threat. And making pretty short work of the spinner arena here.
Yeah, pretty smooth from TFT. We did see once again one of those little ink blots trying to run away, but it at least stayed in range. So not quite the disaster situation that can happen there sometimes.
Lickitung being a bit of a bully with its hitboxes there for Shresh. He got to the right side. A little bit of angry camera spin there. Those hitboxes are notoriously tight. Oh, the Waltz boss snuck away from TFT. It's always a pain when it gets
roll slash.
When it rolls its way out into the arena. It just takes so much time to have to wait for it to slow down its attack versus getting caught in that top corner.
Yep, yeah. So the goal there is to trap that pot in the top corner, basically. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for TFT. So this is a chance for Shresh to maybe make up some of that time. And here's Imploft. Imploft can be very terrible. So we'll see how it goes for TFT here.
TFT is feeling on top of the world, though. I would take a slow boss fight anytime over. Like he went into this fight, into this arena with full mana and full health, and I would take a slow Waltz pot boss anytime. If I get that, and doesn't get the interact.
Missed the crow. Oh no. Okay, so that was a very clean Imploft from TFT. Just a bit unfortunate they're missing the crow only for a couple of seconds, but not a big deal. All right, so and then Shresh also unfortunately missing out on that strat to lock the pot in the top. Ooh, and taking a couple of hits too. Yeah, that is definitely not where you want to be going into Imploft. We'll probably see Shresh go ahead and take the pot in Imploft, although maybe not. I guess we'll see how Imploft goes.
Yeah, he has his one safety seed that he's collected. Interestingly enough, I've seen him doing a strat that's different than both the TFT and the upper strats for starting that fight with the Waltz pot, which is pretty unique. I haven't seen exactly what the strat is yet, but he starts up in the very top corner along the ladder or along the gate as opposed to staying along the white line. I imagine that gets him opting not to plant the seed. This is a big play.
Yeah. That is very interesting. So would rather keep that at 2 health. It was a pretty clean Imploft there from Shresh. So, didn't take another hit. And this next bit is not super scary, but it's definitely still a bit scary. I wouldn't necessarily in a race setting want to be in a position of falling down to 1 health before Grunt Arena. So definitely a choice.
Shresh is probably feeling the small mistakes. While they are pretty minute and not losing a crazy amount of time by themselves, he's probably feeling the pressure of knowing he's going up against TFT and opting to take these shortcuts because of that. TFT himself, a good example of the fact that he, I want to say radianted, but he didn't get damaged at all during the Grunt fight. So proving that the fight isn't that spooky. It's just the nature of going into something with low health that is spooky in and of itself.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely a mental aspect to be worried about here when you're in the middle of a race, especially the semifinals. Definitely some pressure on both of these runners. But, Shresh's looking pretty okay so far. I'll try not to comms curse too far. Oh, I've already done it. Shit.
No,
Sorry.
he's good. He's good.
Okay, we're fine. Yeah. It's all good. Yeah, see, I didn't doubt it for a second.
He probably miscounted. The Lickitung there had 2, maybe 3 hits left, but he probably thought one of his other hits had connected or something along those lines, and thought that he would be able to kill it before it would slam down on him. At the end of the day, not too terrible. He just cleaned up a little bit afterwards. So.
Yep, and that decision to skip the pot in Imploft really paying off now. Not only did Shresh save the time that it would have taken to fill that pot and then use it, but also ends up with an extra safety seed. So definitely a smart decision in the end.
Shresh is doing a good job trying to make up time during these splits, but TFT is giving no ground. The last 2 arenas have been really strong for TFT, so the little bit of time that Shresh can make up is being pushed by TFT's good movement and good fighting.
Yeah,
both
absolutely.
runners opting also to stick with the older strats for this room. There's
no diagram strats.
Not today.
We did get to see it yesterday in the race with Museus, the progenitor of the Museus strats. But unfortunately, these runners have not yet opted for it.
All right. My question is whether or not Shresh is going to opt to do some of the sketchy rolls across the bookcases. I know he usually teases me for it, but if he's feeling the pressure, he may actually try and opt to go for some of these tighter rolls. Nope, he's playing it safe. That's the right call, I believe, in this case. You want to consistency for the sake of not losing 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think that in a race setting, that extra, half a second to a second you're going to save from that is maybe just not worth the risk.
Oh, I like the strats that Shresh is breaking out there, using both deflecting the projectiles and also shooting some arrows to burn the time. Actually kills that Lickitung pretty fast.
Yeah, I was overwatching TFT's side of things. TFT has just started AVA 1, had a very clean first phase, and looking pretty good here through phase 2 as well.
All right. By shooting the top and bottom green pots, if you shoot them once with an arrow, it lets you do a heavy deflect just to get them out of your face pretty quickly. Really cool strat. I tend to always forget if it's 1 or 2, so I tend to sometimes shoot 2 arrows at them when it's a little unnecessary.
Yeah,
and
makes
quick work of that Avarice. That was great.
Yeah, that was good. So really clean. Honestly, everything up to this point from TFT.
Now, there's a pretty big timer difference between the two. I could see Shresh actually not falling too behind here. It was about 21:26, I believe, was the timer. The cutscene between the Avarice and popping out, where the timer stopped for TFT. So we'll see where Shresh lands in comparison. Probably about 25 seconds or so, I imagine.
Ooh, unfortunate hit there. It's going to be a little bit awkward to clean up. Oh, making pretty good work of it, though. Missed the deflect there, though, unfortunately. So definitely not quite as clean of a first phase for Shresh. Ooh, these pots are getting away a bit. Okay, good. Got the one in the dark. Yeah, when they get in the dark like that, it can be very sketchy because you can lose sight of them, and then if you run out of arrows, tracking them down is very painful. So getting that extra shot off was very important. Even
worse than tracking them down, sometimes they will just wander aimlessly in the dark where you can't see them, and you just have no hope of fighting them unless you run into it till you get damaged by them, or if they wander back into the light. And man, can that just be infuriating when you're on a good run.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an easy way to lose a lot of time. Also want to point out TFT did opt for the Spider Soul. Makes sense. I actually probably expect the same for Shresh. I wasn't exactly paying attention to Shresh's soul count there, but both of them didn't have to kill a lot of enemies from Imploft. So I'd be a bit surprised if Shresh were to skip the Spider Soul here as well, but we'll see.
Yeah, pretty clean and blocked, even though they cleaned up some enemies along the way in Cemetery. You need a decent amount more than the minimum that you get by flying through the areas to safely be able to get the Strength 4 soul count by the end of the bomb split.
Absolutely.
Oh,
and
Shresh, that was really smart. He was able to recognize that he was running a little bit low on soul, and the easiest pot to get soul for, because he's definitely gonna. That's a sign he's doing a Spider Arena for sure. If he had lit that and had no soul here, that's a long walk back. Gets the umbrella.
Yeah, picks up the umbrella, just in case, saving it for a rainy day, maybe. Understandable. All right.
We got our claps for leg day. We love that too. So we got the umbrella and leg day claps.
Yeah, so there's that last pip of soul that, or mana rather, sorry, my Hollow Knight terminology bleeding through a little bit. Last pip of mana there that Shresh went back to pick up is used to open the spider's den there. So that's really the key. All right, so the starter ruins here. Ruins can be a bit of a hectic area as well, especially if these grunts here aren't being killed by the bombs, which unfortunately does seem to mostly be the case. Maybe they'll group up here. Yeah, that looks a little better. So once again, the random enemies that you kill along the way do add up a lot to hit that 1,000 soul breakpoint that we need after the second Avarice. So how you get that can vary between runs, but it's very important that you kill some enemies along the way somewhere.
TFT definitely had to clean up a little bit. He ended up with 948 as the soul count, getting that key. One of the points where we just kind of like safety check where we're at is at that arena where you pick up that key. And you want to be at 45 soul, whether it's 745 or 945. Ooh, doesn't get the mom skip. And he was just above it. So he's actually at a place where he doesn't really need to pick up any extra kills before he gets to Avarice 2 rather.
Right.
So Spider Soul's actually paying off in that situation.
Yeah, and that is good for TFT. Took a little bit of an unfortunate hit there, but I don't think it's going to necessarily be an issue. One thing about the ruins is that it is a very, very long area. And if you don't open any safeties, then the walk back from the final arena can be very painful.
Absolutely.
But it's also a more consistent area than some of the other ones in this game. So I expect both of our runners to get through without too many issues. Pretty clean arena there from TFT.
Absolutely. Both of the runners also opting not to pick up a safety seat at the beginning of this area as well. So they're both feeling pretty confident with just holding on to the one from the beginning. Neither racers had to use one yet. I personally like to operate with two just to have a little bit more of a buffer. But both runners feeling pretty confident here.
I'm guessing the fact that they saved their seed, didn't need it in Imploft, has them feeling all right about the prospect here.
Shresh at 945, so 944. So he's going to probably want to just kill one of the grunts along the way leading up here. Or there's just an extra enemy at some point, whether it's a fire plant or this grunt right there.
There you go.
Put him to the place where he's going to probably be at about 1,003 or something like that by the time he picks up Strength 4.
Yeah. Those random enemies getting killed by bomb plants is very convenient. It's an easy way to get those extra few points of soul that you need. And we see TFT clean up that last arena there. There's no more combat between where TFT just ended and the end of this area. Ooh, Shresh, I think that was second.
Yeah,
okay, I think that was third try. Okay. So second try from TFT and third try from Shresh. Not a huge difference. Each try of bomb skip only loses a couple of seconds. But just a small difference there.
And I believe it's around 3 is where you end up breaking even anyways. With just walking around, it's about there, so it's not even ends up being time loss, missing it a few times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not too bad. Ooh, Shresh missing that last hit. It's those little things that just they can really add up and just kind of get in your head a little bit as you're running through these long runs. in a no reset setting, in a a race setting, especially semifinals, mentality is just as important as your actual skill at the game and making sure you can stay locked in and focused.
Yeah, Shresh having a very clean ruins besides mom skip so far. TFT took one silly damage, but it was at a place where you actually don't lose time because we had to wait for a vine to fall anyways. But Shresh also not losing any more time in the split at least. As I say that, I caster curse the caster cursor himself.
Yes, indeed. The very unfortunate timing there.
It is fine.
But, yeah.
If anyone's going to be able to survive Bomb Arena on 3 health, I believe in our Shresh over here to be able to do it. So
yeah, I don't think that it'll be an issue. This arena, not the worst arena by any means. It is among the worst to die to, but luckily it's not the hardest.
Definitely one of the worst to die to, but also probably the most fun arena in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, using all these bomb plants to get these extra kills is pretty enjoyable, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, so we're seeing TFT come up on the first arena of the Mushroom Dungeon. This arena can be a bit of a pain sometimes as well, mostly because of this final wave that TFT is going into. So there's these little spiders here, and a lot of these bigger spiders, but the bigger spiders control you a little bit and run away from all your attacks, like was happening to TFT there. But luckily got the little spiders mostly with the deflects, so doing okay. Although, wait, is TFT on 2 health right now?
I didn't actually see if he was at 2 health. I didn't see him take any damage, so I'm not sure where he would have taken the damage. Because I didn't see him take damage in that arena.
Yeah, I just saw. Okay, no, it was the color of the health messed with me for a second, but I think it was just the lighting. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I was worried for a second because I thought he didn't take damage there. Anyway,
little spiders I lovingly call cowards because they love to hide away from you when you get too close. So you also have to play this game of basically being close enough to be able to kill them quickly, but also not close enough for them to hide away where they are invulnerable to all damage, which is very frustrating.
Yes, indeed. They can be probably the worst if you get too close, waste some arrows, miss a deflect. They can just really start to be a problem for you. these little spiders that TFT is dealing with here too are just so obnoxious. Interesting. TFT using that seed.
Yeah.
3 health here. That is intriguing to me.
The only reason I can think optimally why he would choose this one is you don't have to wait for the pot to plant because you can plant it, get the bird while it sprouts. Whereas if you get the one, this is him assuming he's not going to take damage to the 3rd soul, I assume, the 3rd bird arena, because you have to sit and wait for the plant to sprout to take the health afterwards. So that just loses like 2 seconds. So that's probably what's going through his mind at the moment.
Yeah, that makes sense. It is. It does kind of raise the stakes a little bit here because I think, as Key mentioned earlier, I believe there's only a single seed in TFT's possession prior to using that. So that might have been his only seed. And takes a hit there. That is not what you want to see.
That looks like one of those missed inputs. I was talking about this the other day post-stream. Sometimes it feels like in this game you set up a heavy attack and the bird looks like it's winding up and then just kind of stands there. It's something that a lot of runners have been experiencing, and that almost looks like that's exactly what happened there, which is why he took that hit. Shresh on the other side getting a super clean first arena. That
last wave of the first arena was just absolutely gorgeous. That is exactly what you want. Yeah. All right, so TFT, again, I think out of seeds now. So gonna go in on 3 health to the water arena. This is, again, the last arena in each area is usually the worst because it means you have to run through the entire area again. So water arena is the worst one to die to here in Mushroom Dungeon. And it's also the hardest. But of course, these are both very experienced runners. So I think TFT on 3 health, I would not bet against him.
probably feeling pretty confident about it. Plus, the other thing that is unique to this dungeon is because there's a hazard in this arena right near the bird, it poses the ability to do a death warp if you take too much damage in here. So TFT probably also thought about not healing or healing after Soul 2 so that he could kind of prepare for this arena. If he does end up having to take 2 damage here and ends on 1, he can do a death warp that will save him an extra about 6 seconds in the next split. But we'll see if that actually ends up happening.
Yeah, so far pretty clean water arena there from TFT.
Yep.
Shresh also, it's worth noting, took a hit in the second arena there and opting not to do the same heal that TFT used in that situation. So Shresh preferring to hold on to that seed. It'll be interesting to see if Shresh does opt to take the pot after the second arena. But it remains to be seen.
I imagine he only takes it if he takes an unfortunate damage during it. He's probably also thinking 3 health is enough at this level of play to be able to confidently get through the 4th arena.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll see though. Both
Yeah,
runners will get
smooth
a
there.
free. Yeah. Both runners are going to get a free seed here in a moment. Anyways, you get one on the way to the second Avarice door. So losing that seed before this is not too painful.
Yeah. One thing about these spiders, by the way, for any of your viewers watching who don't know, you cannot hit them through the corners there, but they can hit you through those corners. So you'll notice the runners have to go basically wide around the corner before they can actually attack the spider. That is one of very many pain points with those spiders. They are among the worst enemies in the game. Anyway, Avarice 2 starting here for TFT. TFT also made a video guide to Avarice 2, so we'll see if he's able to follow his own strats here.
He gets that beautiful opening strat where you actually get a deflect on the fire plant to kill it with its own projectile while also beating up the first hammer bro, which is a real fun strat. He's played it real close with that exploding tank. He could have accidentally taken that damage, but he's probably feeling pretty confident with the distance that it takes to avoid it.
Yeah, so far looking pretty good. A little bit iffy. So the goal there was to deflect. Oh, the green mage didn't die either.
Yeah,
that's
one
rough.
hit away.
Yep.
Thankfully, it spawned in a very convenient place. Oh, speaking of a convenient place, both of those mages spawning very close for Shresh.
Yeah, that's definitely what you'd like to see.
I like that strat. That's a really cool strat. I haven't actually seen anyone incorporate yet. That's
new to me at least. Although I'm hardly the most up to date on all the strats.
It's probably breaks even because by the time you use the 3 fireballs to take out those archers, the other grunt usually gets to you, and then it only takes a heavy light to take it out. But if you're in the skips across the water. Shresh actually a water bird for a second. Jumped into the water, but the bridge raising actually stopped him from taking the hazard damage. He saw the splash of water, but he didn't take the damage. You love to see it.
Incredible.
All right.
Alrighty. So with Avarice 2 down, because TFT and Shresh as well both did the Spider Arena earlier, they do not need to grab the extra souls here. So just moving through normally. TFT with plenty of extra soul here, 16 over at the end.
Yes.
And meanwhile, Shresh finally going into Avarice 2 picks up that seed. Oh, Shresh up to 3 seeds actually. So I think Shresh picked up an extra safety seed somewhere else. Oh no, Shresh got this. Okay.
The glitch. Yup.
Gets through at least pretty early. So if you try to go through that door too quickly, it actually just deactivates the door entirely, it seems, for some reason. It's very unfortunate and, don't recommend.
Yep, you can usually fix it by just rounding the corner where the door hitbox is. You don't actually have to go all the way behind it. If you can just route that corner a little bit, it reactivates it for some reason.
Sometimes we understand how the game works, and sometimes we just know that it does. All right, so Shresh moving into Ava 2 here. We'll see. Yeah, doesn't go for the deflect strat that TFT got in the first wave there. Being bullied a little bit by these blobs here. We'll
Plus
see if
some
Shresh. Yeah, so Shresh does go for the elite archer first as well. TFT is a big proponent of that.
It comes with a little bit of risk. Those regular grunts have a tendency to jump immediately after they come out of the door. So you just have to really be just aware of where they're at and be able to change on the fly to whether or not you're going to go for the elite archer or attack them. And one of the mages gets away from him, gets the kill on the. Thankfully, gets two of them. He got the kill on the great mage, which matters the most. So
yeah, not too bad overall. I'd say a relatively clean 2 there. I think Shresh, I missed exactly the exit time from TFT, but I think it was I wanted to say that it was like a 35 like 40 or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I want to say that TFT is about a minute ahead at this point. I could be wrong. We could grab another load to check for sure, but
yeah, there's a 38-35 entering castle, so that's a good one for us to compare because Shresh will be there momentarily. Castle, big on mana management and puzzle management. We're gonna see if we're gonna see some diagram strats or some of the more traditional strats. Looks like we're going traditional. It's safer.
Yeah, traditional here. I think that makes sense for this particular puzzle. In Lockstone, that one is a bit sketchy in a race setting to go for the diagram shots. I would expect to see in the later
right before Theodore Arena.
Yeah,
I agree. All right, 8 extra soul for Shresh, which is great. Cutting it close, but comfy enough that wasn't like a nail biter.
Yep. Yeah, so you can see how close that can really get at the high level here. They really do need to pay attention to their soul count going through. We saw Shresh get a couple of extra grunt kills by pure luck from a bomb, for example. Without those, it would have been about 2 over. So it's very, very tight soul routing.
TFT doing a really cool strat in that arena, which is luring the halberd in the direction of another enemy. So you have to dodge out of the halberd's way multiple times. And so what he does is utilizes the iframes to do roll slashes to take out the archer while he's already having to dodge the halberd's big swing. So you're not only clearing out an enemy, but avoiding the damage. Then you can turn around and just finish off the halberd right afterwards. Really cool strat.
Yeah, very smooth optimization there.
The corner. I hate that corner.
That corner's rough, but did get the ladder in the end. So the reason that TFT is taking that so close was in order to get up to the ladder during this lighting cutscene. That is possible only if you really do try to cut that corner very closely.
All right, we got bomb strats here. Pretty tight window. Let's see if he can nail it. Got to get the heavy here. Throw another bomb.
Nice.
Exactly. Yep. I figured he'd be able to get it, but it is a pretty tight window. It's easy to accidentally mess that up. And it's good. Yeah. He rolls toward the back after the first damage there to try and spawn the mage, not above the pit in the middle, because then you have to either bait out the projectile or just wait for him to respawn entirely, which is just time loss. None of us want that.
Absolutely not. Yeah. Missed one of the bombs on the golden hammer bro there, but not too bad in the end. Ends up still making quick work of him. So yeah, it's pretty smooth overall so far from TFT. Really no big mistakes from TFT, I think, like through most of this run, at least to my relatively untrained eye. Going to grab the safety seed, and that brings TFT up to 3. That's interesting to me.
That seed is probably one of the most free seeds, so I imagine he takes it just to take it. He hasn't had to use one yet, so he's taken all 3 of the basically free seeds that you collect without really having to do any extra effort, which is good. I mean, you have that stockpile in case things go wrong in the later, harder, long sections of the run. Shresh also opting to take the safer strat for the first puzzle. And there's our diagram.
Here we do see the diagram strats. Yep, very nice.
TFT not letting us down. Also has plenty of mana to get this room going as long as the arrows find their targets. Beautiful. Yep. So should be able to make short work of both of these puzzles, get into the Theodore arena.
Yeah, so those new strats for completing that puzzle, that is, I think, less than 2 weeks old. It happened during the course of this tourney. So once again, a lot of new strats, a lot of people lowering their PBs, a lot of really exciting developments in this run as a result of this tourney. So it's really cool to see them being employed in the later rounds here. And again, that's just beautiful. Oh my god.
Oh, the perfect ending.
Man.
You love to see it. Incredible. So rolls to avoid the attack from the halberd, getting the hit onto the Wizrobe, able to turn around and heavy, getting all 3 enemies remaining in the same swipe to end it. It's just exactly what you want out of that arena.
Yeah, that is just gorgeous, man.
Entering Castle Lockstone, the time difference was about 1 minute and 15 seconds. It is not something. It's a pretty big time difference, but not anything that I would count either runner out for. That is a couple, rough issues. That's one person getting Archer Skip in Fortress. I mean, that's only about 10 seconds, but like, there's places to catch up that distance for sure. I would not count Shresh out yet.
I mean, really, any death to any boss is just about all of that gap as well. So, in a race setting, you never know what can happen. Oh no, Shresh didn't quite get the bomb there. Yep.
But he knows he only needs one more bomb.
Yeah, easy so just held onto it.
And then gets sniped by the extra attack.
Oh man, having a bit of trouble with this hammer bro too. Okay. Back in good position. Trying to lure this golden bro up a little bit. Gets it.
It looks like also TFT did not get the opening strat perfect on the 4th arena, but still cleaning it up pretty darn well at the end.
Yeah, the strat in the 4th arena there is one of the nicest arena strats. You lure a backpack to hit a wall and be vulnerable, so that you can hit it with a heavy to kill it while simultaneously deflecting a shot to kill the other enemy. And that's just beautiful. But it's pretty hard to do. So we'll see if Shresh can get it in a little bit.
He's also opted to pick up a couple extra seeds. He's at 4 right now for his count. So I imagine neither runner is going to pick up any other seeds at this point. That those are comfortable, counts of seeds to get through the rest of the run. Yeah, you want 1 seed for the end of Flooded Fortress for sure, and then you might want a seed for just before the Ice Arena and Watchtowers. But any other seeds from that are only going to come at the end of some very unfortunate sequence. So I think both of these runners are doing just fine on seeds. We saw those diagram strats. Well. Yep, beautiful. And just
pretty smooth here.
Us to do Avarice 3.
Yeah, so entering Avarice 3 at 45:15 there from TFT. We'll see when Shresh gets there.
All right.
Yeah, so I missed the opening there from TFT. Does TFT start that with lights or with
I didn't see the very beginning of it, but it's usually a roll heavy, then 2 lights to kill the fire mage.
Yeah.
It needs 6 hits, so it's usually the quickest way to get that 6. Opting to focus on the pots before finishing up the halberd. Usually I see people leave the pots to try and get some cheeky deflects before dealing with them. Opts to go for the right butt cheek, a little less expected, takes a hit because of it, but it was his positioning, so I bet he figured he would be safe. 1 damage isn't terrible.
Yeah, still perfectly fine. 3rd Avarice there from TFT.
And with that, we get the best ability in the game, everyone's favorite hook shot. We'd usually get to use it immediately. However, screw that. We're gonna jump off the edge and do a death warp. So
yeah, it is actually one of the very amusing developments of this of this tournament is that it was discovered that this death warp saves something like 8 seconds, I think. Which is just kind of absurd. So just jumping off the edge there is actually faster than let's see, can we get I just missed the backpack.
Barely missed the backpacker.
Yeah. So it's one of these things that's really funny that has been known about for a long time. It's actually used in the glitch run, they death warp immediately after the third Avarice, but it wasn't used in NMG for the longest time. So it's kind of funny to see it make a resurgence, again, because of the increased visibility of this category and the activity in this category because of the tourney. It's really cool to see.
Shresh using some really good game knowledge there. In the wave that spawns 3 grunts, the third one has a tendency to jump much more than the other ones right on spawn. So he does a heavy on the first grunt. He could do a light to finish it off. Pauses for a moment, sees the grunt that spawns, jumps at him, lines up another heavy so that he can get the stun on the other grunt. If he had done the light, he probably would have been hit by the leaping grunts, taking a damage and a pause there. So really smart to just give it like a second. He knew that was going to happen, just so that he could get the kill without any extra damage or time loss.
Yeah, it's just little optimizations like that that can that you really start to see among these top tier runners here, and it's really these small things they're only adding up to a second or two here and there, but over the course of this entire run with so much combat, so many arenas, it really does add up.
TFT almost falling off that ledge, which is he tried to get that quick hook shot, but actually accidentally went out of bounds.
Yeah, just a quick out of bounds. No biggie. We won't tell anyone.
Yeah, didn't benefit from it, so no issue there.
All right, so Shresh entering Avarice 3 at 46:43 or so about a minute and a half behind now. Okay, so this is what I was referring to. Do you see Shresh opened with those 3 lights there and was going for the roll slash, but actually missed it. So that was a bit unfortunate, but yeah, that's one of those strats that I've seen in the tourney a little bit, but yeah, just one of those small differences that can make a small change in a lead like this. That mage being a bit rude.
Yeah, he got a regular deflect instead of a heavy deflect on that projectile, so it hit the mage but only sent it spinning. It wasn't actually enough to kill the mage, so it came back for a vengeance a little bit later. But not able to do too much damage before he dealt with it. One Grimer escapes that heavy. You hate to see it.
Yeah, and I think that Shresh does not. Yeah, Shresh's PC does not allow for the left butt cheek strats to work. So Shresh has to actually fight Smo. Makes still quick work of them.
Yeah, thankfully the first one, the only one we actually have to deal with in any percent, has the least amount of health of any of the Smo. So able to defeat it pretty quickly in just 3 combos. All right,
yeah, it's a lot worse in 100% where we have to fight the green Smo. So luckily in any percent it's not too bad.
Thanks for reminding me that Smo exists.
Just in case you were thinking you wanted to go away from any percent and back to Hundo, just need to remind you real quick.
I was missing Hundo for a second until you reminded me. And there's the death warp.
Yeah. Oh no, Shresh is about to die.
I hate to see it.
Oh no.
I don't know if he's going to be able to make it back from that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Like we said, a single death can make the difference in this run still. Shresh forgetting where he was going for a second there.
Yep, he is now entering the puzzle skip, which is probably the most movement intensive. There's not, I feel like, a single bit of combat for this whole section. It's just running around, cleaning up, getting ready for the exit to watchtowers. So a lot of really cool movement moments. If you missed it on TFTs, you get another chance to see some of this really cool strats here.
Yeah, there's definitely some nice strats, including a skip of the last puzzle. Unfortunately, we can't skip this one, but at least it's not too bad.
Yeah, TFT entering the one of the hardest combat sections of the run, the watchtowers. So not only are we going to get some bopping music here in a moment, but some bopping fighting as well.
Yes, indeed. Shresh pause buffering that fire, that shot there, just making sure that he was able to get those inputs. Now, I think he accidentally was about to quit out too early, so I'm glad that did not happen.
We don't need any accidental quits to desktop.
Yeah.
Let's take the button out. Acid
so
Nerve
TFT
when
going for the fast strat there, where you hook shot and cause the bird to jump. That was pretty smooth there from TFT. Although I think he missed an attack after the jump, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, he missed a heavy input that would have killed it a little bit quicker. It was basically found that the time save is pretty negligible. However, what it does is create for a pretty consistent fight where you actually don't really have to worry too much about the nice, clean ending of the laser arena. Let the laser do the work for you.
Yeah, it's just that level of experience that you see there. TFT lines up that laser and just starts walking away, knowing that the laser is going to get the kill. Oh, and these, oh my god, that was beautiful.
Perfect boomer lineup.
Yeah.
This is like exactly what you want to see when you get to watch towers. TFT probably grinning right now, honestly. Getting the hyper hook shot into the wall.
Very smooth there as well with the mask setup.
Yeah. I don't expect either runner to go for the sketchy roll right there. Ooh, a little interesting input there. There's a sketchy roll you can do over near that.
Going to the left
windmill
there instead of around. That again was just found pretty recently, I think. Lots of small little developments in this run. It's pretty cool to see.
Stuff you can see runners opting to do probably in a PB pace or something along those lines, but in a situation where you need to keep safe, it definitely makes sense to play it a little bit closer to the chest.
Yeah, absolutely. TFT making quick work of those mages. If you don't kill those mages, they will follow you all the way into the ice arena, which is not something that you particularly want.
Yeah. TFT is still able to avoid having to pot a plant this entire duration. Pretty incredible speed that we're on right now. You love to see it. He still planted
it anyway.
He makes a statement there. Maybe he is listening to comms.
I don't need this seed.
What a statement.
Oh, wonderful. TFT opting to go up here. I haven't actually seen this strat. I don't know if that's common.
He's the pioneer of the strat, actually. We usually call this the TFT strats there. Just to try and clear out the grunts not on the ice, giving you a little bit more clarity. You only have to worry about usually 1 or 2 grunts on the ice because of that, instead of all of them.
Yes.
It's something that slowly...
if TFT goes for the new strat that was posted just a day or two ago, which is to actually kill. Yeah, TFT's going for it. Oh,
and yes, beautiful.
Got it. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow.
So
one thing that
we didn't get to talk about too much, but essentially you can open up the fights with the Hammer Bros by attacking them from their right side, and because they hold the shield in their left, you can do damage to the principal Hammer Bro instead of the shield, and break the shield at the same time. So they only take 6 hits at this level of strength. So able to get that before it even has a chance to do any damage, which also lines up enough time for you to be able to roll over and get a quick, cheeky little hook shot over to the archers.
Yeah, so it's very key there that you are able to still hook shot the archers. The archers start running to the left as soon as they spawn. So you need to kill that Hammer Bro very quickly in order to hook shot back to the archers. And that was about as quick as it could possibly have been for TFT there. So really, really nice to see that employed. Again, I think that was found literally last night. That's just, it's so ridiculous to see a strat that was found last night incorporated into the semifinal race today. That's wonderful.
TFT getting the Betty kill.
Yeah, very smooth Betty fight.
He's at the same pace as his PB right now. He got the Betty kill at 55:37, which is his Betty kill in his PB. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, TFT a little bit for folks not coming in things that we heard before the race rather. TFT mentioning that he has not really been able to get sub 120 runs recently while he practiced for the tournament doing no resets, so he wasn't sure he was going to be able to, but is currently on a 118 pace. So if you can clutch it through, we can see maybe even potentially a new PB today. Shresh getting really bullied by Laser Arena. And
oh my
he
god!
clears it.
Oh, that was very scary. So we're gonna almost certainly see Shresh take advantage of the pot that's just before the elevator here. We need to make sure that he gets through these boomers quickly.
there are definitely safe strats to be able to fight these boomers. Just keep your distance so that you don't have a chance of getting stepped on. He did not decide to play it that way, though. He definitely.
Oh, no.
He was going aggro to try and get there. I imagine his intent was to, clear them as quick as possible to get to a heal. As far as deaths in watchtowers go, that is one of the better places to die, only because it's still pretty early. I mean, you'd rather die right after. Oh, you can tell he's getting a little frustrated here.
Shresh definitely on tilt a little bit here, which again, it's so easy for this kind of thing to happen in a race. The second you die, you lose your concentration. You're thinking about the mistake and how silly it was, and you just have a tough time. One thing that's interesting here on this run back, Shresh is not killing this halberd, and you can see it's going to follow him.
And there it is.
Went into the void. Amazing. Yeah. So if
you can time it quick enough, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can lure that halberd to actually fall into the void, which is wonderful, and you really do love to see it.
It could troll you and get into the boomer arena, and you have to fight everything at once. However, he's able to get through there. He's probably gonna. Nope. He wants to do ice skating before he heals, but just
yeah, that's fine. On 2 health, I think that's reasonable. On 1 health, I definitely would have taken that pot, but on 2, I think it's fine.
It just means he plays this a little safer. Doesn't do any of the sketchier strats going through. The ice
no roll
section
on the left side there or anything. So yeah.
Speaking of sketchy strats, TFT coming into Fortress, which has quicker movement, but it relies on taking sketchier rolls that cut corners. And as we are all aware, crows are not water birds. You do not want them to get wet.
Unfortunately not. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Doing pretty good movement.
Yeah, I think TFT is not taking it too risky now. Probably knows. I know that TFT has chat up, so probably knows that something went wrong for Shresh in Watchtowers, even if he doesn't know exactly what. So probably feeling pretty comfortable at this point in the race. We'll see.
So we see the sketchy roll. You love to see it.
Yeah, I believe I heard that referred to as a key roll yesterday.
Yes, the Kipo roll.
Yeah, so you're hiding the true name of the strat. Okay, it goes for waterside gate skip. This is okay, gets it second try. Waterside gate skip is a little bit sketchy because if you fail it, you fall into the water, as we saw there from TFT. You can actually do the exact same skip from the other side, which is referred to as landside gate skip. That, if you fail, is a little bit slower to retry, I think, because you fall down, but it also puts you kind of on the way to the lever. So if you want to try it once and then just get the lever on the backup, that's a pretty good way to do it.
It's definitely the safer strat. I was about to embarrass myself. I almost said, TFT choosing the correct strat. And then he fell in the water, and I was like, didn't get the words out. I'm safe, but I'm a man who can admit my mistakes.
There you go. Shresh getting bullied a little bit. So worth noting, Shresh did still go for the older strat there in the 4th wave. Again, not surprising. As I mentioned earlier, that new strat is literally a day old. So not surprising to not see it. But that's just some of these small differences. In the way the combat goes, we saw Shresh take a bit longer on that 4th wave than TFT did earlier.
Another little bit of game knowledge there. Planting the pot and taking it the heal that way is actually slightly faster than doing the save and quit. So I know I was tempted for a very long time to just do save and quits there, but the pot being right there, same thing with Grandma, ends up just being close enough that it ends up being easier. Are we actually going to see TFT take a pot here? He's got to, for safety.
There it is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still 1 seed remaining. So just in case he does, need that in Furnace, he's got that. So, there is another free seed or pretty free seed on the way into Furnace. So, it wasn't really an issue, but, TFT definitely in good shape here seed-wise for the rest of the run.
With all things being said for Shresh, he did get a sub 59 Betty there. So even with all the problems going on right now, he's still on a 122 pace. So
that is pretty incredible, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, still, obviously a few minutes behind TFT now. TFT, honestly, that watchtowers, I'd be surprised if it didn't gold for TFT, I guess. But I don't know for sure. That was like as clean as I could think, honestly. Maybe that that sketchy roll skip on the way to the ice skating or something could stop it from being gold, but I don't know.
TFT is like 0.5 behind his PB still. So he's doing great.
Yeah, just barely PB pace and easily 118 pace, which is incredible.
And Shresh is only about a minute behind his PB pace too. So both runners still performing at a pretty darn high level. We'll see if TFT can get the quick armor break strat here. Looking good. There it is.
Yep,
beautiful.
There it is. Yeah, so with Frog King, we're looking to see if TFT can deal enough damage to kill on the second side. So we see Frog King go down here. When Frog King finishes this wave and hops back to the other side, it's possible to kill while he's on that side before he jumps away. And that is what I would expect TFT to be able to accomplish. And
I'm feeling confident he'll be able to do it the fast way, that like a true way where you've really nailed a fast kill there is if you can manage to kill him before he can shoot the homing bomb at you. If you can do that's like the quickest Frog King that you can get. Him getting stomped on a little bit there after the Dodongo phase though might put him a little behind. And there's the homing shot. Gets the kill shortly after. Man. 1 health. Wanted to make us sweat a bit.
Pretty close to falling off there. Shresh pressing literally every button but interact there, by the way. That was kind of amusing.
I guarantee you, I knew that was happening. He's too close to the stairs, but he that interact button is not real, and no one is ever going to convince me that it works properly. So he was probably mashing that button and it still wasn't working.
Yeah.
All right, that was still pretty darn clean Frog King. We take that.
Yeah, absolutely. Still getting that kill before the Frog King hops off the edge, even with that extra hit. So doing just fine. All right, so here we get Strength 5 and Dex 1. It is the penultimate upgrade session before the end of the run. And then we go and do Furnace, which is, if you play this game casually, that's the first place you go usually. We save it for last here for a couple of reasons, but one of them is just that the geometry works out really nicely if you take it in this order. So
yeah, hook shot makes this entire area very negligible, but it makes for some of the most fun movement. Missing this first roll twice.
Ooh. Yeah. I think at 2 or it's between 2 and 3. I think that you may as well have just gone around. Yeah. Okay, so not going for that seed there at the start.
He's got
which
one
is
seed,
expected. Still has a seed. Doing absolutely fine.
Shresh has gotten a little close to some of these borders, but he's still doing pretty good on the movement. Hasn't taken any dunk. The 1 damage is from being too close to the bomb before. So
right.
And we got we got a very clean swag strat.
Yep.
From TFT.
Very, very smooth.
Didn't dunk twice like me yesterday. What is this timer difference? Yeah. The load times are pretty rough on Shresh's computer, which is another reason why he has to deal with the rough smos. He also is opting to do the left
water
side.
Yeah, gets it first try though, so that's pretty smooth.
Yeah. All right. I didn't actually see whether or not TFT opted to get the door here for safety. We'll see if Shresh gets it. Shresh also commenting a few times in some races for people opening up some of the safety strats for Fortress along the way. When you open up the levers in Watchtowers, it actually loses a decent amount of time. However, there's a couple really quick paths to shorten a Fortress redo that we might see him go for. One quick little arrow strat, and then one extra lever can take one unfortunate death and make it actually a pretty quick walk around. And he does it. He takes that first arrow, which is the first opening there.
Yeah,
So.
that's a very interesting safety strat. I think in a race setting, it makes a lot of sense.
Didn't have bombs
And
up.
it does require also cronking that lever in a second, so we'll see if that does happen.
Yeah,
This
the
is
lever's-
definitely the majority of the time loss of this strat.
Yeah. Oh, that was really smart of him
Yeah.
to do that. Doesn't cronk the
Okay,
lever.
doesn't cronk the lever. Okay, so we'll still have a slightly faster run back,
Yeah.
but not the fastest run back possible.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's not going to be a run back because
Yeah,
Shresh's going to
exactly.
get through here easy.
He's gonna nail it. So the other thing that was really cool to see was that TFT got pretty darn fast strats at the end of at the beginning of the Inner Furnace split when it came to the big Plague Doctor Bird. That arena actually ended up being clean, and I was gonna see how he was gonna deal with that. The hook shot over to the bull cart in the middle of in the middle of the gap was some smooth movement there. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's a situation that you don't usually end up in. Usually the cart goes all the way to the edge, so definitely a little bit sketchy.
Shresh taking it a little slow just in order to get himself a quick heal.
Oh, that
very
boomerang.
smart strat.
Oh
Yeah.
no, that's just such a rude boomerang.
That was really unfortunate.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. Oh no.
And it canceled the animation too, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He pulled the boomerang out and threw it, got hit by it, which like canceled the boomerang animation. Yeah, you avoid this. You take this super safe. You're only one hit away. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really rough arena for Shresh there, but he does get through it pretty cleanly. Doesn't use the Kipo strat of finishing the arena and then immediately rolling into the water.
Listen. I deserve to be conned on a little bit for that one. I was like, you beat this arena and the bridge just spawns, right? I'm just gonna roll onto the. Nope.
Yeah, at least you didn't do it on 1 health. That's the important thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so TFT there got one of the 2 fast cycles in the last cycle room there. We take those. Ideally, of course, you'd get both fast cycles, but it requires pretty precise movement going into the room and then also after lighting the first furnace in that room. So
TFT is now about 10 seconds behind his PV pace, but he is currently on a low 118 pace going into Granny. Shresh still on a pretty darn good time, all things considered as well. He's probably still at a 122, maybe a low 123 pace.
Yeah, definitely not bad at all. All right, so we'll see TFT's Grandma fight here. Grandma is one of those fights that's, it should be easy in the sense that it's the first boss that most people fight casually, and it's also a boss that we have a ton of upgrades for. But actually, Grandma has a ridiculous amount of health, and this fight can actually end up being very, very technical. Pretty smooth there from TFT. Didn't quite get the absolute fastest kill, but close to it there. Killed Grandma before the hopping phase, which is what you're really going for when you're doing this fight.
Used another little bit of game knowledge strat there, which is kind of sketchy. I think it was Vroom who was talking about this in another race, but during the Lord of Doors fight, we generally kind of use our health as a resource, and we'll take some damage because it's the end of the run anyways, if it means getting a quicker kill. Similar strat in Grandma is the purple pots. If you cut it close and let her throw those at you when you're at her feet, that explosion also damages her. So we saw TFT sticking to her and doing some really close dodges of the purple pots at the end, allowing those to do some extra damage to her, doing anything we can to just get that fight close quicker, Yeah,
it's those little things that make that a very technical fight, a very difficult fight to do fast. Not one that you're as likely to die to, but it's definitely one where you can lose some time to a very experienced runner like TFT.
Yep.
Also, that was a very clean Frog King from Shresh. I want to point out, by the way, getting the kill before that homing attack. So that was very smooth. That's exactly what you want out of Frog King. And now moving on into the Inner Furnace.
And making up some time on TFT, it all counts.
Absolutely, yeah. TFT definitely with a very sizable lead at this point, but you know, the end of this run is pretty hectic. Grey Crow especially can definitely cause you to lose a ton of time. So yeah, we'll see how this Grey Crow goes for TFT. Shresh in a very weird position there. That was wow. Okay.
Opting not to take the movement to get out of that position in order to try and save some time, but also gave himself the opportunity for some sketchiness for sure. We'll say.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, the end of the run, it's a boss rush. There's been world records that have been top 3 runs that have died to Death, that have died to Lord of Doors, that have died to Betty, to Grandma. So no one's out at this moment. There's no. The run's not over. The race isn't done until the fat lady that is not Granny sings. So
yes, indeed. Yeah, it's you know, you always say it in races it's not over till it's over, but in this game it very much isn't. Even all the way up to the very final boss, deaths on the final boss are not out of the question. They are not. It's not an easy fight at all, and especially if you're trying to go fast, you can end up taking a lot of extra hits that, you know, lead to something unexpected.
We've had multiple runners in this tournament end the gauntlet at 1 health. And dying the gauntlet, especially near the end, is a 3-minute time loss. And that is the time difference right now. That actually is a make or break time. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, so we'll see Shresh going through here. Gets that quick furnace lighting. And the quick cycle there. Yeah, it's so nice. It doesn't look like you can make that, but you absolutely can. Also, here is TFT with Grey Crow. Grey Crow is probably the most difficult fight, I would say, in the 90% run.
Yeah, for sure.
Both at a, you know, beginner level and also at a high level, just because, once again, it's a very technical fight. You have to react to a lot of RNG elements, from everything from the Grey Crow's attacks to where these little ads spawn. It's very difficult. It's easy to take damage. It's hard to get damage in. It's just a hard fight. But TFT making that pretty smooth work of it.
Managing these murderlings as well as you let them take damage like that. And there it is.
Exactly. Yeah. So pretty smooth. Amazing. Not the fastest Grey Crow in the universe, but TFT will absolutely take that in a case like this.
There was some trolley positioning with the not only the murderlings but also I think he did 2 of the chain phases pretty back to back as well. Sometimes you can kind of force out a couple jumps before he'll shoot out the chains, but this time he wanted to troll him a little bit more.
Yeah, I like that shot there, Shresh, hookshotting that green pot. When that last piston is off cycle with you.
Oh.
Did he just walk over the edge?
Yeah.
Okay, some like weird stuff is happening over on Shresh's screen, honestly. That previous room,
like there's a lot of wonkiness.
It was very weird, just the strangest thing. But anyway, Shresh making it through these rooms, you know, weirdness aside, doing okay. Ooh, okay, so that's tough. Shresh missed. Still goes for it. Still goes for it and
you
gets
love
it.
To see it.
So the reason that I was hesitant there is if you use all of your mana and haven't lit that last brazier, you are kind of screwed. You need to actually roll off the edge to respawn to get mana, because there's none on the conveyor belt.
And if you don't have the health to spare, you have a long walk back against the current of the conveyor belt. So both options have big negatives. So going for that is Shresh really putting his best foot forward, trying to push. You got a situation where TFT can afford some safety strats on a normal pace, but now that he's probably aware he's on a PB pace, that he's not going to take safety strats, but he has a little bit more comfort knowing that he probably has a leg up right now, and Shresh has to take every tight corner that he can to try and make up the ground at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, ball's definitely in TFT's court at this point. Really, it's going to take a relatively large mistake from TFT to allow Shresh back in this one, but that is not to say that won't happen. Again, the end of this run is quite volatile. So Shresh on Grandma here. Shresh actually was practicing Grandma pretty extensively, I think both last night and maybe this morning. I saw Shresh was streaming some practice and specifically practicing Grandma, trying to learn the fast strats there. I don't know if he's going for the absolute fastest strats. Okay. So we saw there, that was a bit what you were talking about before, Key, which is that you want to make sure that you're getting those pots to hit her.
Yeah.
But you see, he didn't quite get the kill before she started the hopping phase. So that is the difference between what TFT was able to do and that fight there.
TFT missing that second instant door.
Just missed the instant door. TFT does go for these heavy strats where actually you use the momentum from the heavy on Lord of Doors to carry you out of the range of his attacks. And they are a little bit sketchy, but they allow you to get a lot more damage in, and it's actually crucial in this upcoming phase right here, which is the Betty phase. So if you don't do them here, then you will have to endure a roll attack from Lord of Doors.
He had 14 hits. He needed one more. It was a miscount. So because he had done 3 lights at the end, essentially he got the 14 out of 15 hits. Just a simple miscount, but yeah, we call that strat Betty skip, it takes a lot of understanding the game to know why we call it that, but it's basically because of that specific fight, which isn't against Betty, but it's in the Betty arena and it's doing Betty's attack is why we call it that. But
it's actually for those of you who are less familiar with the game and all the way that gauntlet works, it is really cool. You go through each of the 3 major bosses, and the Lord of Doors has an attack from each phase that mimics the attacks from the major bosses. So in the first phase, it's a pot throwing attack. In the second phase, it's a jumping attack, which mimics the Frog King's first phase. And in the last phase, it's Betty's roll attack, which ideally you don't see at all in this run. So it is kind of funny that we go for roll skip in the actual Betty fight, and then roll skip Lord of Doors is pretending to be Betty.
On top of that, in this fight, he also makes use of the gigantic laser attack from Guardian of the Door and the tuning fork time freeze attack from the Silent Servants, who we don't even see. So the only major boss in this game who doesn't get a little bit of a Lord of Doors love is the demonic forest spirit. So shucks.
We need to add a big spinning attack to Lord of Doors.
Exactly. But it's a really cool way where the developers kind of built in every bit of what you've learned throughout the game and throws it all at you at once in a really fun fight with some rocking guitars too.
Absolutely, it's a great end to the game. I personally think that they should add in a bit of an homage to Smo and make it so that if I stand on the left butt cheek of the Lord of Doors, there's no attacking at all.
Yeah, I like that. We'll add that to the AMA, and there it is, a 1:18:46.
1:18:46, an absolutely blistering pace from TFT there. Very well done.
33 seconds behind his current PB. That beats his PB, I believe, from about a week and a half ago. Almost no major mistakes. A few small little, movement mistakes. Some damage here and there. That's the kind of run that TFT needs to push through the rest of this tournament. That was an amazing run.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge GGs to TFT there. And again, just before this, TFT was talking about, a lot of his recent practice runs haven't broken 120. So this is a great showing from TFT and only 30 seconds off from his PB. His already absolutely insane PB, by the way. Like a 118 is already insane. So GGs.
It's also worth noting, Shresh did not win this match, but is also only about 30 seconds behind his PB pace as well. So Shresh is still playing out of his mind at this moment. TFT just also brought the game today as well. So this really has been as much as it hasn't looked as close as it is, both runners are playing absolutely amazing games right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is what you want to see. Win or lose, you really just want a good showing in these matches, and that is what we're getting. Yeah, so great crow here from Shresh. Shresh still, there's a bit of a timer delay, of course, so we will see it catch up in a bit here, but definitely a couple of minutes behind TFT at least, and even with the most insane gauntlet you've ever seen, it's not quite going to be a minute long.
There it is.
Right.
There's the finish.
Yeah, there's the Grey Crow. Nicely done.
And so that
Moving
Grey Crow
on
was
into
about 45 seconds behind his PB roughly. So
Gotcha.
still pretty darn good pace.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. I mean, with that laser arena death in watchtowers, like that's really the only major misstep that we've seen from Shresh. So I think he's absolutely got a PB in him with the way that he's playing right now.
Yeah, I mean, speaking from experience, and I bet you can feel this too, Matt, since we both were in this tournament. The first match, you've got the adrenaline, you got the push. It's the first one, you're coming in more of a clean mind. It does feel like it's the PB match. The second one it's like, okay, we're gonna do the run back. There is a level of like exhaustion that does hit. But I would love to see if either of these runners can pull out the PB in this next upcoming match, considering how good they've played off this first one.
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible. I personally had a much better second match than first, but I'm also the kind of person that tends to PB on the run back. So, it's definitely, different from runner to runner. But regardless, this was a fantastic run from TFT. And, I'm sure Shresh wished that he had that boomer death back. And other than that, it's just been absolutely, absolutely wonderful.
Zevo coming in as well, saying that PB'd both of his second matches.
we're just here to prove you wrong, Key. That's our role.
I like it. All right, bring the evidence. It's great. Prove me wrong with science.
Yeah, destroyed by facts and logic.
I love to see what Shresh is going to opt to do. I believe in my races against him, he has not been doing the first instant door that can happen, the most recent one to be discovered before the first arena, but we'll see if he's going to opt to try and get it because he knows that he's trying to get a faster speed here.
Wait, there's an instant door before the first arena?
There is actually
that one.
Yeah. So essentially, after this first section of door bowls that is going to come up here in a moment, you'll see it. You can roll on a bit of a tilted wall up to behind where the loader door snaps, and if you can get there right when he snaps, you get an instant door that puts you into the grandma arena before the camera, so you actually have to start the fight without being able to see what's going on. It's pretty wonky.
Oh, that's so ridiculous. I love that. I don't know how I haven't seen that. I'm guessing it's pretty hard to get.
It's pretty tricky if you don't know the strat. And he's going for it.
Okay.
Yeah, you have seen this. Oh, he gets it?
No.
All right, we're going to see it. The instant door.
Okay.
Oh, no!
Oh, no, Shresh. We appreciate it, though. I don't know if Shresh is listening to comms, but yeah, that was... I respect it. I respect the attempt.
Yeah. And he gets the first really quick strat with the Betty roll strats. Gets the second instant door. And that, I think, is the first time in the tournament I've seen anyone attempt that too. So that's really cool.
Yeah, that's really nice to see Shresh go for it. And like you're saying, Shresh obviously knows that at this point the race is over, I would think, if he's paying attention to the chat at all. So just willing to play a little bit here and try to show off some of the cool stuff that we've found.
Grad, I don't know what I did wrong, but I apologize.
It's the comms cursing.
I see.
Whoa.
My bad. Whoa,
what happened
that was
there?
Actually, that's a first. I've never seen that before. He's gonna have to play it really close to the chest here now. I'm not.
I literally don't know what happened there. That was weird.
Yeah, that's a first for sure. That's a bug report.
I feel like Shresh's game has been doing some weird stuff this entire time. Still going for the Betty roll skips at 1 HP.
No.
And that's why you don't go for the Betty roll skip at 1 HP.
I have so much respect for him going for that, but
honestly.
Oh, you're gonna retry. I know it. Come on, friend. I believe he might know that that TFT is finished by this point if he has the stream up or something like that. So this might
be thrown in the towel here.
Yeah, we haven't seen any comments yet here. Both runners are on server mute, so they can't communicate yet. But there it is.
Yeah. Shresh is asking to. Okay, yeah, cool. So that will be our first match here.
Mm-hmm. I'll bring in the runners into the call. Let's have a talk with them. All right, the runners are in. How are you feeling?
I didn't realize how close I was to PB pace, or I would have been a lot more nervous.
There's the reason why I wanted to say I was gonna write it in chat a few times what you were, but I chose not to because I didn't know if that would affect mental. So I was just saying it over comms instead of typing it out.
Yeah, I'm running against average, so I don't have to see
Yep.
that, just for better race mentality. But
And
yeah,
Shresh,
GG's on that run, TFT.
as unfortunate as that ending was, you were on quite the pace that whole time too. So even though a lot of weird shenanigans happened and we have no idea what happened there at the end, I still feel like that's a run to be proud of because you were playing some death's door today.
Yeah, GG's on that run, Shresh. Really respect going for that first Instadoor and also going for the petty roll skip on 1 HP. That is some fun stuff to look at there.
Yeah, just trying stuff. At this point, I knew I was done, so I was trying to warm up, I guess, these sections for the next race. Hopefully, we will get some guns blazing there as well.
Yeah, appreciate you going for that first instant door too. The unfortunate roll off the edge, but you at least got up on the wall, so that was hype.
Sure.
You got me and Matt for cheering for you.
oh, one other thing. I didn't realize that I forgot I went 3 HP on Frog King. That was the life flashing from my eyes moment that I really hope I don't replicate next run.
You were about teetering on the edge of that water there on 1 HP, and I was like, TFT, please.
I was oh my god. That's not hopefully happening again.
Yeah, especially with the homing phase coming in pretty early, where he was shooting the bombs at you. I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
So it was clean though. It was real clean.
All right,
Yeah,
so we're
GG's to
good.
both of you. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
GG's to both runners. So we're gonna go into intermission. This will be a little bit longer. Longer intermission. We'll say the intermission time. We'll say 5 minutes, but we'll probably go for a little bit longer. So go get your snacks. Go use the washroom if you got to. Get up and stretch. We'll be right back.